When you know that you are queer, but your favorite drink is beer, that's gayish. You can bottom without stopping, but you can't stand going shopping, that's gayish. Oh, gayish, you're probably gayish. Well, life's just too short for narrow stereotypes, so it's gayish. We're also gayish. It's Gayish with Mike and Kyle.
Hello, everyone in the podcast universe. This is Gayish,
the podcast that can sing Beyonce's If I Were a Boy without changing the lyrics.
But I am a boy.
If I were a boy, I'd put myself first.
But
that's what boys do.
I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz.
We're here to bridge the gap between sexuality and actuality, and I hope you left that sigh in instead of cutting them out like you normally do.
I would never remove long periods of silence and add in laughter that you did on other jokes and then put them in, probably to your own jokes that I placed next to my jokes.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
We're going to be talking about celebrities.
Today we're going to talk about celebrity.
But first,
first of all, we are live today. All three of us are in the same room for the first time since at least March.
Yeah.
It's real weird.
Yeah.
Dan brought a Fortress of Solitude with him.
Yes. Very considerate, and he has a mask, which I can't tell if it's a BDSM thing or if Dan just likes it.
My Fortress of Solitude is painfully too narrow. It perfectly sets me up that I can see both your mouths on either side of it. So
I think you called me fat somewhere in there. I don't know exactly where, but
nope.
Yeah. Now I can see your dumb face.
Yep. You're welcome.
Okay. I want to start off with a correction.
Okay. A correction.
So I mentioned Kamala Harris and trans issues, and I was kind of talking mainly about just what I had heard.
Kamala Harris is trans?
No.
Oh.
Is that what I said?
I don't know.
Trans issues.
Trans issues.
Yeah.
I know what this is about. Yeah.
So,
when she was Attorney General in California.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I looked up to see if there's any new information, and I think broadly speaking is true. She has started to address more recently her stance on sex workers and trans people, and shifted in the right direction. She has talked vaguely about her support for trans people, not specifically trans people, incarcerated trans people. She's talked about reducing the incarcerated population for trans people, and believes that we need to validate their identities, but not the combination of the two, which has been was the issue in the past when she was the lead putter and jailer for the world. And so there's an article that I really like that goes into detail. If you want more info, it's on them.com by Ren Sanders, and it's called Unpacking Kamala Harris's Record on Trans and Sex Worker Issues.
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, I get torn in this situation because one of the things, when you are elected to be the Attorney General, your job, at least in theory, is to uphold the law, regardless of whether you agree with it or not. It's not a legislative function where you're supposed to be out there changing policy. Your job is to enact policy. So if your
That's what the Nazis said.
I know. We're not talking about
I said Nazis. We can't.
Okay, that's right.
Conversation ender.
True.
Okay, no, you can keep
Great.
going.
No, I'm done. You're right. Kamala Harris is Hitler.
I didn't say she is Hitler. I said she shares some similarities. I hear she's a wonderful painter. and
likes to be peed on?
And her wife probably hates her. Hitler must have been a dick at home.
Oh, fuck.
Hitler, put your feet down. I do what I want.
God.
You never vacuum. Shut up, woman. Jesus, fine.
All right, everybody, welcome to the show. No,
are we starting again? Sorry from the beginning.
I think that it is possible for somebody to be forgiven for things that they did as long as they have grown, make changes, and that sometimes being really good at your job that you've been elected to do might mean doing some things that maybe you wish you didn't have to, but it's still kind of your job. Like maybe going to war if you're the president, right?
Yeah.
Good people don't want to go to war, but by God, we have to sometimes, and that's your job.
Yeah. Or using a public bathroom. when you work at CDK, because it just makes me uncomfortable. We all have to do things we don't really want to. No, and I would rather someone who, I don't think she's like 100% like given her outright support, but she has shown support for trans people, which is far better than anything. Like, I'd rather we can just have a nuanced discussion about the specific issues rather than a flat out like they suck and shouldn't be able to like use the sidewalk or whatever.
Yep. Great. You ready for the news?
If I were the news. Yeah.
I mean, this is the news, so.
If I currently am in the middle of the news.
News the first. So, a damning report by Ofsted, which is an organization that is an education watchdog. According to them, Sunderland-based Cornerstone Northeast Fostering Service, also known as SCNEFIS.
Great.
No, they're not. I was like, that's spelling it. They would only recruit carers who were in heterosexual marriages, excluding anyone from the LGBT plus community. So basically, a high court judge ruled in July that the agency had acted unlawfully in requiring this of parents, and Cornerstone Northeast is now seeking to appeal this judgment, stressing their right to uphold, quote, faith-based principles.
Sure.
But this is trending toward the direction of the law in UK says that you can't discriminate against gay people for things like adoption. This place is trying, and they're getting smacked down for it. Yeah. That's all I want to say about that.
Okay.
News the second.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
In a new book that is coming out today? Next month.
Close.
A book called All the Sonnets of Shakespeare is coming out that is written by these two researchers, Professor Sir Stanley Wells and Dr. Paul Edmondson. And in this book, they claim that, quote, William Shakespeare was undeniably bisexual.
Wow. I thought a lot of people had denied it.
They're wrong now.
Okay.
This book has canceled them.
Dude with the name Sir has said it, so that might, that sounds legit.
Yep. They analyzed 182 sonnets Shakespeare wrote from around 1578 and found that while 10 were written for women, 27 were actually addressed to men. Most are, quote, open in their direction of desire, including his most famous, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day? The language of sexuality in some of the sonnets...
Because my nuts are sweating. Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah, yep. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Because you hot. The language of sexuality in some of the sonnets, which are definitely addressed to a male subject, leaves us in no doubt that Shakespeare was bisexual, Edmondson told The Telegraph. It has become fashionable since the mid-'80s to think of Shakespeare as gay, but he was married and had children, and some of the sonnets are addressed to a female, and others to a male. To reclaim the term bisexual seems to be quite an original thing to be doing.
But it's not necessarily new right now, but sure.
Well, so what I think is interesting is, first of all, why do we care so much? But then second, you write about straight people shit all the time. That doesn't mean that you're bisexual.
That's what I was...
400 years from now when you're going to be famous and studied.
Right, yeah, sure. This guy really cared about what his poop looked like. He has so many poems about that.
He's clearly scatologically inclined.
God, I hate that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking is just because you write something from a perspective, or was it like a personal letter? Like, yeah. I don't know, sir, whatever the fuck seems smarter than me, so. I think the big deal, like, first, people are like, oh, did you know famous people like Shakespeare are actually gay, trying to break people's image of, you know, the idea that everyone is straight. Yeah. And then there's a reaction to gay because, like, then bi people are like, okay, he's not gay, he's bi. Like, everyone always tries to put the word gay instead of bi. So I think it's this chain of, like, did you know some people are gay? And then, like, to gay people, do you know some people are bi? And then
straight people are like, fuck you.
They're like,
Jesus.
You still read that shit? Like, you know, yeah.
One of the things that they pointed out was quote, 2 bisexual mini sequences, sonnets 40 to 42 and 133 to 134. In those, there's a three-way relationship. Sonnet 40 begins angrily. Take all my loves, my love, yea, take them all, and includes the line, then if for my love thou my love receivest, implying that his love has been betrayed, he said. In Sonnet 41, he admires the beauty of both his female and male lovers, hers by thy beauty tempting her to thee, thine by thy beauty being false to me. And I don't know. That's not a smoking gun either. Nothing has changed about what we said before. But he apparently is bi, and that's the smoking gun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a sir and a professor and a doctor.
Done. Okay,
I walked
great.
into a bar. I don't know.
News the last.
Yeah.
News the last. I'm going to fuck this up.
Great.
And I know that lots of people are very sad and upset that this week Drag Race star Chi-Chi DeVayne passed away. The Chi-Chi DeVayne, who was 34, will be remembered for her incredible talent, kind heart, and determination. She passed away Thursday after being hospitalized with pneumonia, and 2 years after sharing that she was living with the rare chronic condition scleroderma. Her birth name is Xavier Davenport. She's not trans, so this is it gets weird. Xavier out of drag, Chi-Chi in drag. Anyway, yeah, people who follow RuPaul and Drag Race are super sad. Apparently, we don't watch, so how could I do proper justice to this? Because I don't follow drag.
This was big enough that I don't either, but it was big enough that it I became aware of it through Twitter and stuff. It was big enough news to show up on my radar, even though I don't watch her or know who she is.
Yeah,
know who she was.
Yep. I thought this was really nice and sort of a fitting tribute to her. Quote, Drag Race has opened my eyes to see there's so much more than where I came from, and to not hold that against myself, to push forward with where I want to go in life. So yeah, it has definitely healed that aspect.
Who said that? Bill Gates?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And Chi-Chi DeVayne.
Both. Got it.
Who was plagiarizing Bill Gates the whole time.
That look. Bill Gates started that look. I've been watching Pose a lot, so maybe this is part of where I'm coming from, but it's still, I don't watch Drag Race, but still when a drag queen dies, that's still, I still feel that that's, when it comes, when it's your community, I think we all feel it in the LGBT community, whether you knew them or not.
Yeah. I buy that.
Okay.
She's real pretty. I like that part. Cool. R.I.P. Chi-Chi.
Yeah, rest in power. That seems to be what everyone's saying.
Rest in powder?
Face powder, probably. I mean,
that's it. That's the news.
Okay.
Yeehaw.
Okay. If I would have been the news, I would have been happier. Okay. I want to thank the following Patreon members.
Great.
Wayne
Newton.
Nope.
No.
Just Wayne. This is regular size Wayne. This is not little Wayne. This Wayne appears to be of average stature. Spencer Beggs, Greg Bingham, Kyle Dawson, which hereby known as Dawson.
If your name is Kyle, we don't want your money? Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Or don't be so bold as to put that in as your first name. Kyle Dawson, my ass. And Michael Tribby. So there's a Kyle and a Michael.
Huh.
I don't know if you want to say anything to Michael.
I love your first name and everything about you.
Yeah, okay. If you want bonus episodes and content, you can go to patreon.com/Gayish podcast. And it's fun.
Yeah. While we're talking about Patreon a little bit, we recently changed it so that you can get a 10% discount if you sign up for a whole year in advance.
Yeah. They just released that feature. Patreon did. So, yeah, you can now sign up for an annual membership if you want. If you're like, I know I'm going to love them. Well, I'm sure that's what a lot of people hearing this right now are thinking to themselves. I don't know if we've been good enough so far to be bold enough to ask for a year-long support, but sure, why not? Do it if you want, or you can still do monthly. Great.
You want to talk about celebrity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a war coming, so but I don't know that we need to start there.
Yeah, we're not going to start there.
Okay.
But there's some things that we can talk about that will inform that discussion.
Oh, okay. You're okay. Okay. I should have known.
This is my new favorite idea for an episode we've ever had.
I should have known you were going to start to plant the seeds early on and try to trick me into agreeing with you. I've got my eyes on you. I guess we should say, like, we are definitely going to discuss. There's been this ongoing discussion now, not only between us, but also on our Discord of, is Selena Gomez an A-list celebrity? So that's coming soon. So now I'm on the lookout for anything you're going to drop that, like, anyone who was on a show about wizards must be a B-list celebrity. Like, I'm going to watch out for your tricks.
Oh.
Okay. No, but you sounded like you were going to say something.
Well,
do your segment.
No, just given the number of A-listers that were in the Harry Potter series of movies, no, you're incorrect about the wizard thing.
Okay. All right.
Okay, great. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Why don't you go first?
Okay, great.
I want to hang out.
All right. Besides a cruise line, what is celebrity, Kyle? What do we think?
Celebrity is shit. I don't have to say this in a way that helps support. Okay, I need to just put that. I can't keep thinking with Selena, I can't operate with Selena running the ship here. Celebrity, like, I think it's just about people knowing who you are, because I don't think it's even good or bad. I think celebrities can just be well known by a large enough group of people.
Yep.
Do you have the right answer?
Well, I'm going to read a definition. It's straight out of Wikipedia, so your mileage may vary. And celebrity is a condition of fame and broad public recognition of an individual or group, or occasionally a character or animal, as a result of attention given them by mass media. A person may attain a celebrity status from having great wealth, their participation in sports or the entertainment industry, their position as a political figure, or even from their connection to another celebrity. Celebrity usually implies a favorable public image, as opposed to the neutrals of famous or notable, or the negatives, infamous or notorious.
Okay, I pretty much said that.
Yeah, you did. And there's not a lot of like objective measurements to go on there. So this is very. The right answer is inside all of us, Kyle.
Look inside your A. You'll find that list.
Yeah, so it's like the old argument about porn from that Supreme Court case. It's like, I know it when I see it, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about the lists, because that's like the central argument that we're going to have later.
Yeah.
Comes down to, what does it mean to be an A-lister?
Yeah.
And I came across a fairly surprising. Oh, I forgot to back up and say this. The stereotype here, the reason this is gayish, is because gays are obsessed with celebrity, and I hope we talk about that.
Yeah,
at least that's the stereotype.
Yeah. Like, Perez Hilton is someone that came to mind of, like my female friends were obsessed with this site, and then that, like, is the only reason I found out about it. And then, like, gays are all up on the gossip blogs, and actually everyone assumes that I know what's going on with Britney, like, which I actually don't stay on top of the day-to-day of her. I just see her Instagram posts every now and then and go, oh.
You don't like it on top in general, so.
Only if I'm writing. There was no innuendo about that. I just really went, like, only sitting on a dick. Yeah, but I actually don't pay that close attention to like the inner workings of her or anyone in general. Do you stay on top of celebrities or anything?
I really don't. I think I did more when I worked at IMDb, just by virtue of the fact that I have to fucking see all of the shit that was on there and look at the rankings of like people going up and down on their
star meter.
Star meter, exactly. But no, not really. Not
so we
really.
both don't follow the stereotype, and I think that would surprise people about.
Dan he has a correction.
I think this is your laughter is exactly my point. Why are you laughing, Dan?
Every time we get together, you have some new celebrity thing to tell us about. This hot new song by this random
new song.
Yeah,
yes,
that's a celebrity.
But that's different than like I don't know the gossip. I don't know like I know songs by people like, hey, Britney re-released Mood Ring that was part of the original Japanese album that she didn't release in the US. Like, I know that, but I don't know like what she did yesterday other than pose for an awkward picture on Instagram.
Yeah. I also think like I am interested in celebrity in as much as I want to fuck them. Or them to fuck me, as it might be. Like, I legit have a harder time following female celebrities than male celebrities, and the dick is why. And
I think I'm the opposite. Like, it's easier to follow a female celebrity because, like, I get to remove my annoyance at how hot they are. Like, that's been, like, my last couple years is just I'm annoyed at hot people, and so I don't want to see them because if I don't see them, they're not there, and that makes me the hottest person I can see.
Great. That's weirdly self-affirming. I eliminated everyone else in my life, and I'm still ugly. I know. So maybe we'll come back to this as we go. But A-list, it turns out, is, in my opinion, based on some research, only a term that should apply to actors because it comes from a dude that invented it. So there's a guy named James Ulmer, and he invented the Ulmer scale, which is an actual industry thing, apparently. And he categorized the lists into A+, A, B+, B, C, and D and on down.
Wow, he even had to get as specific as pluses.
Yeah. Yep. So he has a whole thing. Okay, so what is the Ulmer scale? This is from his website, ulmerscale.com. The Ulmer scale is the film industry's premier series of power bases for tracking, measuring, and ranking the star power of more than 1,400 actors worldwide. Polling dozens of leading deal makers from Hollywood and key international territories, the scale uses a 100-point ranking system to measure bankability, the key component of star power. Bankability is the degree to which an actor's name alone can raise 100% or majority financing up front for a film. Often it is the most critical factor in determining whether an actor is hired for a project. The Ulmer scale tracks it exclusively for all 3 film budget levels: art house, mid-range, and studio level features. Anyway, I think that the term A-list, arguably this guy came up with that concept, and it's specifically for actors, specifically for movies, and then that term has broadened over time to just be sort of a throwaway phrase to mean people who are super famous.
Yeah.
Regardless of industry or context.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've agreed that we're moving on from his definition because it's no longer applicable to the way in which we use A-list.
Yeah, I mean that's the question.
No. I said we agree that we moved on. I was not asking you that.
I also think it's interesting that A-list in this guy's scale, there's A+ and there's A.
Yeah.
But there's actually, or at least there used to be. I mean, there still is. The origin of that term comes from a fairly objective standard by which you could figure out what list somebody is on.
Yeah. But only 1,400. Like, that seems so small in the world of people.
How many people do you think there should be that are celebrities? So I
think we should track 7 billion people because everyone's a celebrity to some degree.
And you just want to stack rank them?
Yeah.
Okay.
At the end of every quarter, the managers would all stack rank everyone in the group so they knew who to give raises to and who to kick out. Yep. We should do that with humans.
Oh, we should do that at Thanksgiving. Just go around the table and stack rank people.
At the start of every meeting or gathering should be like a look around the room and stack rank, yep. Just so we know who's most important.
Yep. So, in popular usage outside the film industry, an A-list celebrity is any person with an admired or desirable social status. Even socialites with popular press coverage and elite associations have been termed as A-list celebrities. Similarly, less popular persons and current teen idols are often referred to as B-list celebrities, and the ones with lesser fame as C-list ones. In the year 2000, Entertainment Weekly interpreted a C-list celebrity as, quote, that guy or sometimes that girl, the easy to remember but hard to remember character actor, or easy to remember but hard to name character actor.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Do you have any people that jump to mind when they say that?
For the D-list?
No, for the C-list.
Or the C-list.
Yeah. Like, who's that person but they're really good?
Yeah, like Gary Oldman comes to mind, if only because he's in fucking everything and is like, for some reason, his name is really easy to forget.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, yeah. See?
Yeah.
He's, I think, most famous most recently for being Commissioner Gordon in the new Batman movies.
There's a new Batman movies?
I mean, the most recent Batman
Oh,
movies.
okay.
We should look up, if only there were a database of actors that would tell us who all of these people.
I have it open.
Okay, great.
One of his most recent roles was as Winston Churchill in the Academy Award nominated film Darkest Hour. He was in Bram Stoker's, but I'd watch that. Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah, he was Dracula.
He was like the lead in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
I don't think
He was Zorg in Fifth Element, which is one of my favorite movies of all time ever.
Oh, you and
Anyway,
my dad.
The point is, I think that he has a rather... He's always really good, super good character actor, but he is sort of nondescript. If you were to walk by him on the street, you probably wouldn't even know who he was.
Mm-hmm.
I think his name doesn't stick out. Like Gary Oldman is just a name, but like he's super duper famous too.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's who comes to mind. How about you, Kyle? C-list celebrity. What do you think?
The only
You think they're all A-listers? Never mind. We're having that fight later. Go ahead. I love this. Stare at me more.
The one that jumps to mind is mostly from BoJack Horseman. Margot Martindale. They made consistent jokes about her and how she's an amazing actress, but no one knows who she is, and so she like had a recurring role on that show. And then another one they mentioned is Andy McDowell.
Okay,
I think there's a dude that was on House of Cards, like that's always like a bald mafia dude or mean dude or dude wearing a long coat or someone standing in the shadows. I forget his name.
Okay.
Or I never knew it in the first place. But that's someone who...
The guy that played Remy the lobbyist?
No.
Okay.
White guy.
Oh, okay. I don't know who you mean.
No. This is... I guess we're just kind of proving the point of what a C-list celebrity is.
Yeah. Something to remember, I guess, is at least for the Ulmer scale... Once an A-lister doesn't mean always an A-lister.
Right. And
So
I think that's true of even the broader definition of A-lister. You have to like maintain a certain level of relevancy over time to stay there.
Yeah. Like I think Andy McDowell, was probably B-list, if not A-list, in the 80s and 90s. But I agree with you and your assessment now that maybe C-listy.
It's mostly BoJack Horseman that I'm pulling from.
I mean, that's as good a source as any, Kyle.
Sure. Should I tell you?
You can move up and down lists.
Great.
Over time.
Oh,
that's all.
Great.
Go ahead.
I want to take a little bit of a turn.
Yeah.
I want to talk about celebrities that have come out as straight.
Oh, the painful time when people bare their soul and let everyone know that they are a heterosexual.
Exactly.
All right.
So I think it's really interesting. This was from an article on pride.com. And I just think this is so funny of like, what are the circumstances that would necessitate this and how do they do it? Like, what do they say about it? It's really interesting to me. So I'm going to read a few different examples of people that stood out to me. We've talked before about this. We've talked about Andrew Garfield, Cory Booker, Shawn Mendes. We've talked about lots of people that have gay rumors, but there's a few others on this list. To get you excited, I will start with Darren Criss. Yes, sit on your face. I know. Okay. Is he an A-list celebrity?
No, absolutely not.
Wow.
Okay, go ahead.
Apparently winning an Emmy is not enough for you.
No, it's not.
Okay. Okay. This is so hard to not. It's like when you have a test next period, and you're trying to like.
Are you stalling?
No, I'm trying to like actually focus on what I'm telling you instead of in the back of my head saying like, how do I plant the idea? I need to stop asking you who you think is an A-list celebrity. Otherwise, it's going to get us into that. Okay, Darren Criss, sit on your face.
Yes.
So quote,
please.
I think it's more empowering to everybody. Oh, this was a rumor partly like he was on Glee as Kurt's boyfriend. He was the bisexual serial killer What's His Fuck on that show by What's His Fuck and
American Crime Story,
and he was Versace killer Andrew Shanagan.
You're doing great.
What was his name?
Cunanan.
Cunanan. Yeah, I did a whole thing
I would
about
not have
him.
come up with that.
I researched him and talked about it on that episode.
It's like
did.
I'm the only one that listens to this podcast in this room.
I listen to it more than any of us, and then immediately delete that information from my phone and brain.
Yeah, my hard drive only has so many gigs.
Darren Chris, sit on your face.
Great.
He said, quote, I think it's more empowering to everybody, including myself, if I'm articulate about identifying myself as a straight male playing a gay character. Ultimately, that's more powerful for both communities.
Is that true? What
Is
he
that
saying?
true? That's a good question. I mean, I think like a couple of these like examples, we will see people that play gay characters. How do they come out? Do they need to come out or come out? Do they need to announce that they're straight? Do they feel that like, and that's the interesting thing, because I think it could be a bad thing, a defensive thing. Like, no, I play a gay
Don't
guy,
call me gay,
but I'm
dicks.
super straight. Yeah, I love putting in pussies.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's doing that. So I think he's just saying, I want to be clear about that I'm both straight and both very comfortable playing gay characters. So I think that's a good, I mean, then you get into like, is it actually better for gay people if there are straight people playing them? But I think his intentions are good and positive and supportive.
I don't understand his statement, though, that it's good for both communities.
My interpretation is it is good for gay people to see gay representation. It's also helpful, like having allies is really important. So for a straight person to say gay people are cool, it's okay to play a gay character, that doesn't diminish your masculinity or whatever thing you're worried that, you know.
Okay.
But that's what I think he's saying.
Okay.
You need allies to support gay people. It's just like, in what way is that best? And is acting as a gay in a gay role that way. As a counterpoint to that, someone that came out of straight, Jack Falahy, who is, you know who he is?
Yeah, and he's my ex-husband's celebrity doppelganger.
Oh, I feel like he's had ones that are, yeah. He's on How to Get Away with Murder. He's like super hot gay dude on that. He's one of those annoying people. I have not continued to watch How to Get Away with Murder because he's too hot and I'm annoyed. Like,
okay. God, you're so wrong about this. Okay, go ahead.
No, well, because it's like masochistic for me to like watch hot people, because I'm like, why do you get to be so hot? Who are you to be so hot? So he says he had long not discussed, even though he played a gay character, he had not discussed his sexuality. And eventually he did say, while I'm not gay on HDGAWM, I play a character who's in an interracial relationship with an HIV positive man. However, in the past, I've declined to discuss my own sexuality in an attempt to try and dismantle the closet. Opponents to my ambiguous answers to questions surrounding my sexuality argued the importance of visibility. Ultimately, I think that my stance has been unhelpful in the fight for equality. I feel that I've sacrificed my ability to support the community for a more theoretical discussion about sexuality. Now, more than ever, I want to offer my support to the community as an ally. So, well, immediate reactions?
That's the opposite of what Darren Criss did?
It's coming out as straight, but for a very different reason.
I see.
Darren Criss is saying it's really helpful to both the communities if I come out and talk about it.
Okay.
Jack
Falahy?
sure. Seemed to like hold it back and not want to talk about it in his perspective to dismantle the closet. And it's only after a while that he was like, okay, like fine, I'll come out.
Okay.
What are your reactions?
I just don't know. I don't know. It seems the same to me. I'm trying to put my finger on the distinction that you're making, and I guess I don't quite.
That's okay. Well, what are your
like,
feelings?
Because in both cases, they were a straight actor playing a gay role who were sort of dodgy about their sexuality when interviewed about it, and then ultimately just said, "Hey, just so everybody knows, I'm straight."
I don't think Darren Criss did that. I think he's always identified as straight. I think he's been pretty open about that.
Oh, okay. Then why do the rumors keep dogging him? Then why feel the need to like put the nail in that coffin with that statement?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like whenever someone plays a gay role, then people start asking them if they're gay. Like,
Yeah.
that seems to be the, like, people that play gay characters.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of the list. Or people that, like, there was some dude I didn't know who was on The Bachelor or whatever, and, you know.
You know who never got that?
Who?
Tom Hanks.
Oh.
He played that dude in Philadelphia.
He's just such a doofy dad-like character that, like, I don't...
So you have to play a gay role and be hot? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
Are there other examples of straight dudes that were less than hot that played gay roles and then didn't get gay rumors?
Colin Firth?
Maybe.
He played a single man, and he's, like, older. I don't think he got...
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Okay.
Well, so what I thought was most interesting in Jack Flaherty's comments is, one, he was saying, like, regardless of if you agree or disagree, he said, I've decided my stance has been unhelpful, so I'm doing this instead. Like, for anyone to acknowledge
A mistake or
or like, I don't think this has been the right way, so I'm taking this new action. Like, that's just not people don't do that nowadays. So I always respect anytime someone is very upfront about their evolving or changing beliefs.
Yeah, for sure.
But the idea of dismantling the closet by not discussing it, I kind of liked that idea of, well, why do I have to tell you if I'm gay or not? Like, if the expectation that you are straight unless you come out, like, I kind of like his original idea of I'm not going to tell you. And that means that if other people don't, it's like for trans people, it's like putting your pronouns in your bio. If only trans people do it, then everyone knows immediately you're trans. If you don't talk about your sexuality, then you must be gay. So I like his idea of not talking about it at first.
One thing that is interesting, I think that, like, walking through society as a civilian, as a normal, just average Joe citizen, everyone is assumed to be straight until they're proven gay.
Yeah.
And then once you get to a certain level of fame, it's the opposite. You're gay until you're proven straight.
Yeah. It's like there are certain industries that you can be in, and acting is one of them, where it's like, oh, you're probably gay.
Yeah. Until you make a statement of some kind.
Yeah. Well, but I think, it's weird because, like, they're more likely, I think they're, like, more gay people in creative arts things, but it's still, like, it's only just evolving that you can be gay and out and still have a career. Like, but it's also homophobic. Like, it's such a weird, like, paradox existing in Hollywood. That's Hollywood. Da 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 da.
News.
Anyway, another one. So on the same penis vein, is Jake Gyllenhaal, who after Brokeback Mountain said to James Lipton.
James Lipton?
No, I'm sticking with Limpton.
Inside the Actors Studio?
Yeah. Oh no, honey, I've gone James Limpton.
Yeah. Hey, which Jake Gyllenhaal do you want to bang the most?
Gogglehead, Gearhead, Warhead, Hammerhead, Jarhead. Yes,
I agree.
Yeah,
he's hottest in Jarhead.
So angry and had a shaved head and was like shirtless and just like dirty.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
And then he'd get into my sleeping bag and hold me close, and I'd be like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "It's just for warmth." And then he'd put his arm around me and say, "Jake, what are you doing?" And I'd start to giggle, and I'd turn around and okay. Did I say his quote?
Nope.
Okay. After, when James Limpton asked him, he said, Jake Gyllenhaal said, quote, "It's a huge compliment."
To be thought of as gay?
His quote was, "It's a huge compliment."
What is huge?
Jesus, Mike. I will tell you the line.
Okay, good.
"It's a huge compliment," he told host James Lipton, about people thinking he's gay.
Okay, great.
That was not implied through all the things.
It was, but
Jesus.
What?
Okay. It's fine.
Okay.
What do you thoughts, reactions?
I mean, I don't think it's a compliment. Maybe it is. Because if being thought of as gay because you're hot, like, are we basically saying the hot ones get gay rumors, So if you get gay rumors, you must be hot, and that's what he's saying. That's why it's a compliment.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this was also back when Brokeback Mountain came out in 1943.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think the idea is that it's like an overdoing.
You know who loved Brokeback Mountain?
Who?
FDR.
It's almost like you're trying to be supportive by saying like positive stereotypes about a group, but positive stereotypes can also then make people feel shitty about themselves if they don't meet those stereotypes. So I think that's one of those cases, like, and probably for the time it made sense, but to have a straight person react in that way and say that's a good thing is new.
Yeah.
Or I assume that was new at the time, but now I think we're to a point where it should be just neutral.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree. I think he got rumors not only because he acted in a gay role, but also because he took it and because he
took it.
Oh no, that's what I meant. Because he got fucked and broke back. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got broke backed. And that he's hot. Like, I think those are all the things that.
Yeah.
Taron Egerton, who played Sir Isaac Newton. Yep, Elton John in that movie.
Edgerton.
That's up for debate.
But he was also smoking ass hot in The Kingsman.
Sure.
Oof.
That was the first bullet. Smoking ass hot. Mm-hmm. He posted a photo on Instagram of a male friend with the caption, "Cutie, my boy, heart, less than 3." And everyone was like, oh, he came out and had all these rumors. And then he had to clarify, he had to clarify, no, I'm not gay. It was kind of like a thing temporarily. And he said, I'm certainly not going to stop calling my mates cuties and gorgeous because they are cuties and they are gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Which I loved the way he came out, or not came out, but like he was forced to address it just because of his language. And that shows society's like, if a woman calls her friend a girlfriend, you don't make any assumption. If a girl takes a picture of a girl and says, cutie, my girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's different than if a guy does it.
It's interesting. Like, girls can say whatever they want to about each other. Mm-hmm. Girls can say whatever they want to about boys. Gay guys can say whatever they want to about women. But they can't about straight men, and straight men certainly can't say anything about other straight men.
If I were a boy, I think I could understand. Okay, I read something recently that actually has been making me think. Someone said that women calling their friends girlfriends downplays the importance of lesbian or female-female relationships. Because if it were just neutral, if you call everyone your girlfriend, then we should be able to call people boyfriend. Yeah. But when you say boyfriend, it is a distinct thing. It is a relationship with a boy. Yep. So I at first I was like, oh, let's PC world. Come on now. What is this, PC mag? But I thought that was funny. It's a magazine about PCs, not okay.
Magazines are so 1994, but sure, whatever.
2008. What was I saying?
Taron Egerton.
No, it's PC to do what? Oh. I was like, we're getting into this like PC battle about like the word girlfriend. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, oh yeah, it kind of does like diminish if girlfriend can be friend or girlfriend. Then what does that say about girlfriends?
I found it. I always thought like women calling their friends their girlfriends was very confusing, even like as a kid. So I guess I agree.
Yeah, I think I'm the more it has sunk in and processed, the more I've understood at least we all should recognize there's a difference, and then why is that? And I agree that it's people don't validate women's relationships with each other as much. Yeah. Last one I'll do is Kendall Jenner.
Oh God.
There were internet rumors that she was queer. She said she thinks the reason is because, unlike her sisters, she doesn't like show boyfriends or announce them like the others, like the Brat Pack. And she said, quote, "I don't think I have a bisexual gay bone in my body, but I don't know. Who knows? I'm all down for experience. Not against it whatsoever. But I've never been there before. Also, I know I have kind of a male energy, but I don't want to say that wrong because I'm not transgender or anything. But I have a tough energy. I move differently. But to answer your question, I'm not gay. I have literally nothing to hide."
Great.
I was expecting far more reactions from you about all of these. Why have you not?
No, okay, Kendall. As soon as you said Kendall Jenner, my brain turned off. Like I give negative fucks about her, and like, but if I move past that and I go into, so I think the whole I have a masculine energy. Oh, I'm just a tomboy. All of that is about sexualizing herself in a weird way, and I don't like it at all.
Her answer to me felt like she was trying to be supportive, but got lost in the vernacular and then found herself trying to dig herself out. She's like if Sarah Palin was an Instagram star, like she by trying to get herself out of it, she goes deeper. Yeah, I think like male energy is like what, like lesbians don't have to have a male energy, and then you're breaching on trans territory, so then she has to clarify she's not that. It was just like a really long rat hole that she went down to be like, oh, but no.
Yep. It was a lot. That was a lot of words for I'm dumb.
Yeah. She could have just said I'm a Jenner, but I think, why do I keep getting distracted? I think it is.
Hi, Kyle.
Hi. I keep thinking things and then I stop thinking them, and so then I don't know what to say. I think that it's like talking about disability, talking about trans issues. All of those things have at one point been new to me. I mean, it's not like I'm an expert, but like when you first start talking about something you don't know, I think you make all these missteps. You sound hesitant. You don't know the right words, so you have to think about it. And then you like in the middle of it say the wrong thing or thing you think is misleading, so you have to correct it in advance. Like I just think this feels like someone who is supportive, wants to be supportive, doesn't talk about it enough to have the language down succinctly. Yeah. I could absolutely see myself doing this if I was talking about someone with a disability, kind of like trying to be supportive, but making sure I say the right thing.
Yeah, I'll buy that. I have a lot of allies in my life that like don't live in the bubble that you and I live in, and definitely say well-intentioned but incorrect things.
Yeah. It's one of those things you have to like, I like with your friends, especially, like, I know what you mean. And do I like, is it close enough that like we can let it pass? Or do I want to say like, oh, I say this instead of that? Like, yeah.
Okay.
So that's celebrities coming out as straight.
Poor celebrities and the closet lives they lead. So you ready to duke it out? So Kyle and I here not too long ago got real drunk. And we were talking about celebrities and who counts as an A-lister. And we were in very different places about that. Yeah. And then on a Zoom call, I forget which one it was. It was either after a live stream or it was the quarterly.
After the live stream.
After the live stream? No.
I wasn't at the last live stream, so I which narrows it down. I know it was the last Patreon quarterly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one when I took my shirt off.
Oh, yeah, great. That's true. Patreon.com/gamepodcast. So then somehow that got, like, Selena Gomez became the example.
Yeah.
That was the most egregious person upon which we disagree, apparently. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Was I like listening to her album at the time? Why was I so...
I don't know. You're very, very passionate. But
as were you.
Yes, absolutely. So you maintain that Selena Gomez is an A-list celebrity. Is that true still today, talking to me fresh and live?
That is and always will be true.
Okay. Incorrect. But okay. Okay.
Actually, that is because, as we said, you can move in and out. So, but at least for now, yes, it's true.
Right now, August 23rd of 2020.
Putting my foot in the ground.
Selena Gomez is an A-list celebrity.
Yes.
Okay.
And you say...
I would hesitate to call her B-list. I think she's...
You so dumb. Okay, sorry.
You're right. That's a compelling argument, Kyle. I concede.
I should be president.
I'm trying to figure out, like, just like from an objective, like logic standpoint, which of us has to prove our?
Well, let me start.
Like,
Mike.
do I ask you to justify that she is an A-lister, or do I have to justify that she is not?
I'll go ahead and I'll give it a shot.
Oh, you have bullet points.
Girl, I got bullet points for days.
Okay, great.
I had to limit my bullet points to just 10 pages.
Okay, great.
Okay. I thought there were many facets of celebrity that we could help us support or deny whether someone counts as an A-list. I think one is their notoriety, as you said in your earlier thing. Like now it's about social status oftentimes. In 2019, she was the most followed woman on Instagram, and was then taken over by Ariana Grande. And she has, at this point, 189 million Instagram followers. So she is one of the most followed people on the internet. So she has a huge social base in the likes, with the likes of Ariana Grande. Do you think Ariana Grande's A-list?
No.
Okay, she's the biggest pop star right now. Like, I don't. What female pop star is A-list to you?
So to me, Madonna, Lady Gaga, like you have to have a career that has spanned a sufficient amount of time at a sufficient level of success that you can be likely a household name 20 years from now.
But that's not. But the fact that you think you have to do it 20 years from now says you can't come in and out. You have to just be there and stay. Like, that's not what it is.
Yeah.
You can rocket to the top and be an A-list for a year even, and then go away and be never heard of again. So
yeah,
I do agree that like there's some level of longevity that like people don't just appear on one movie and they're there. But
yeah, I think that I think a lot of who you would call A-list, I would call B-list and maybe A-list someday. And that there's this like, there needs to be a pinnacle level label for icons. And
Taylor Swift?
Definitely not.
That's where I think it's very clear that you're wrong, because if Taylor Swift, the biggest pop star between Ariana Grande and Taylor Swift, those are the biggest pop stars of the time, and the fact that neither of those you think are on the A-list is insane. Okay. It is. You are we're going to the hospital immediately after this to check for a gay cushion.
Now, as much as I fucking hate her guts because she is horrible,
sure,
I do think that Taylor Swift is likely to she's way more likely to be A-list. I think that she will still be a household name in a long time from now. And so I'm on the fence about her, and it's mostly because I hate her guts.
But see, your feeling about her should have no. This is what I think is getting in the way. I think you hate these people. I think people you like, you're more willing to put
Selena
on the
Gomez.
list.
I know zero of her songs. I know zero of her shows. It's likely because I'm older than you.
Well,
I don't fucking care about her, and just that's definitely clouding what's happening.
But that's really important because in spite of not knowing anything about her or caring about her, you know her name, and you can have this debate with me about whether she's A-list. An A-lister is someone you can bring up their name, and everyone we've brought her up to has known her and has weighed in. And I think that's a sign. There are people you'd bring up like George Oldwell or whatever that like
Gary Oldman.
Sure. You're like, who the fuck is that dude? I don't know. He was an actor. Oh, I kind of recognize him. Like, you can say Selena Gomez and everyone will then have an opinion in spite of not knowing any of her music.
Sure. There are lots and lots and lots and lots of people on the B list whose names we know.
There are not as, I don't think there are as many that you could just say their name and everyone knows who they are and then can debate about that person. I think that's an important sign that every single person knows who she is.
Okay, let's talk about what it means to know who somebody is. I know her name, but I don't know anything that she has done or why I care. But
you do. You know she's a singer.
I know she's a singer. Thanks to you.
Yeah. That's what you need to know. She's an actress and singer. Again, like, I think I'm seeing it as like the fact that you have not seen any of her movies or only listened to her music because of me, like that shows how big she is because her name's still permeates like everything.
So weird. I don't get it.
That feeling of being wrong is weird to you?
No, I think it's because I'm sober. I don't want to yell at you.
Okay. She is only age 28 right now. She was the where she really got her start. I mean, she was a Disney person. Started in 2007 on the Wizards of Waverly Place. That was 2007 to 2012. It was an Emmy Award-winning show that she was the lead of. She has moved on to...
Was that a primetime Emmy?
Best Kids Show. Is that they give that one out? What, at snack time? I don't know when that award gets given out. And then has really mostly transitioned into singing. Her last 3 albums have hit #1 on the Billboard chart, including the most recent album Rare, which came out this year.
You did forget to call out her recurring role in 2002 on Barney and Friends.
I did forget to call her recurring Barney role. Thank you.
Alongside Demi Lovato.
When was she in Barney? Does it
2002.
Say? Oh, 2002. So her even though she's 28, she's been around for like 18 years. So she actually already has, given her age, her staying power is impressive, but I still agree that you need more longevity to get into the likes of a Madonna or a Britney, or an Ariana. I was looking at her movies because I don't know her movies as much. So I looked at the most recent one she did was a animated movie. She did the voice of an animated movie, Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation.
That's A-list, man.
It's listen, alongside the cast, which was Adam Sandler, Joe Jonas, Andy Samberg, Kevin James, Fran Drescher, Joe Jonas, Molly Shannon, Steve Buscemi, Chris Parnell, Joe Jonas, and David Spade. So, like, these are the names on this movie that she is in the mix with.
I very clearly have a bias for movies and movie celebrity, maybe because of where I worked, maybe because of how I'm tuned. I don't know. And Steve Buscemi is the only A-lister on that list.
Adam Sandler?
Adam Sandler's not A-list.
Why are you fucking doing this to me? Are you serious? Adam Sandler is not an A-list celebrity?
No.
This is great. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Partially, I mean, like meaningful contribution to art, cinema as art. Like Adam Sandler, it's all trash. It's all just like mass media consumption. Nothing really unique or interesting or original.
That has nothing to do with being A-list, Mike.
And maybe you're right about that.
No, I definitely... okay, is Kim Kardashian A-list?
No.
This is you. Just because you don't like someone doesn't mean they shouldn't be on it. She is the top most grossing woman. She's like the most popular female like celebrity. It's just she absolutely is, and I don't.
How do you feel about the idea that it's fine? Let's have an A-list, but that there is an A+ list. The way that this dude had.
She would be A+. She is one of the biggest celebrities on the planet. Like, most recognizable, like, has been around for a long time, has been on shows, makes a shit ton of money, has so many followers. Like, she's just one of the biggest celebrities there. And I think your personal feelings are coming into play. I
mean, in as much as my personal feelings about people who are just famous for being famous and I hate them.
But that doesn't make them any less... Okay,
I'm agreeing with you. Let me agree with you, Kyle. Jesus Christ.
But you're not agreeing enough.
Yes.
Okay, you talk to me about your A-list. I've been throwing out a lot of names and you've rejected them, but
yeah, I think to me there is a requirement of icon status, and I might be wrong about that. But the people who the Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers is that people are still going to be fucking talking about years and years and years and years from now. These are names that aren't going to disappear into obscurity because of the march of time. And I think that there should be some delineation, whether it's A-list or A-plus list or whatever. There is a level of celebrity that I think is crazy big compared to the people that you use the A-list label to label. And the Meryl Streeps of the world. Like, as much as I don't like Barbra Streisand, the Barbra Streisands of the world. Like, and who are those people today? Like Tom Cruise certainly is. Nicole Kidman certainly is. And again,
Nicole Kidman, what the fuck has she done lately?
I'm over-indexing on actors.
Yeah.
But
do you have a singer you'd put in the A-list? Oh, you did say people like Madonna.
Yeah, and Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
And big mega bands. The entertainment industry is so weird right now because like nobody's touring. There aren't really any like new awesome albums coming out,
except for Rare, came out in 2020 at #1 on the Billboard charts.
Yeah.
I see. I do see like how you're categorizing people like as. I get that there's like a. It's almost like the Oscar for best career achievement or whatever the fuck that's called. Cecil B. DeMille Award or whatever. Like that's different. Like than winning an Oscar for an acting role. It's like, no, the span of your work has been big enough that you deserve it. And that feels like more like who you're categorizing.
Yeah.
So like your George Clooney's, your Whoopi's, your...
That's a Golden Globe Award, not a
Academy
Award.
So what's the Oscar one? Or is it just
Lifetime Achievement? I don't know. Yeah. Is
Tina Fey A-list?
Very close. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
The hard part is, I think, people who start in TV, that's a very hard transition to make.
Very few have Selena-'d and gone over to music. So you're right. It's very difficult, and we should respect anyone who can do it.
And I think, despite the fact that, at least, I think she is. Or that's a tough call for me, but I would say yes. And that's likely my fondness for her arbitrarily pushing her higher than maybe she deserves. Time will tell.
Yeah. All right. Well, at least if I don't agree, I understand you a little bit better. And that's what the world is all about, isn't it, Mike?
Yep. For reals. Well, I'm glad we're still friends.
Just like Tina Fey. It's on the edge. And I'm not sure which way I'm going to fall quite yet. Time will tell. So
the last thing that I wanted to talk about today is actually really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm ready to be. Well, I have been uncomfortable at the premise, but sure.
Yeah. So I pitched this idea that I wanted to talk about our celebrity, such as it is. And
which that phrase alone already gives me the douche chills.
Yeah, I agree. It does. It makes me really uncomfortable. And I think it's worth talking about. And it's worth talking about our relationship to it and break it down a little bit, if that's all right with you.
Sure.
Okay, great. Are we celebrities, Kyle?
No.
Is there a distinction to be made between like...
Here, I thought Kyle was going to say we were all on the A-list.
Not all of us are as good as Selena Gomez. No.
I agree with you that we are not celebrities, but I think that there's the label of that person is a celebrity, and then there's like celebrity as a value. Like you have a certain amount of it. Like once you've reached a certain level of it, then you are a celebrity. But we don't have zero celebrity. Like we have a moderate, like tens of people listen to the show. There is some fame there, or some, I don't know what to call it. Like we're important as personalities to people that listen in and follow us and care about the show. You're looking at me with this pained look.
I just feel so gross saying that. No, well, I don't. I think there are like there are enough people that listen to this that there's like we have a little bit of an influence. Maybe influence is a little bit more like
influencer makes me want to barf.
No. Distinctly, I did not say influencer because we are not that, but we do have a small sphere of influence.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't think and that's where I think like you can be the celebrity of your office. You can be like, the coolest mom at Jamboree or
what? We were both surprised you said that.
It's Gymboree.
Not the place I go, but it's Jamboree. So I didn't say it was for kids. That's the mom's sex hotel. They have a bunch of different things to jam inside them.
Wow.
They have a daycare too. You drop your kid off, get jammed, pick your kid up. Jamboree. A new way to play.
I love it.
Okay. This is one of those negative comments that I read when I was unfortunately looking at our reviews was Kyle gets way too distracted.
Oh, I thought you were going to say about the guy that wrote in recently that said that we should drink less so we don't giggle as much. I'm like, but we've been sober for a while now.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe that's a good, part of the influence that I think is helpful that I like. And again, I wouldn't call this celebrity, but we get emails from people saying what you have done is meaningful to me. I actually I brought a listener email
Roted
email that was roted by a listener because I really liked it. I wanted to call this person out, and it was really nice. I've been listening to your deep episodes recently, like the ones about depression, self-harm, and body image, and I just wanted to say thank you guys. I'm a trans male and have suffered through much of that stuff, and when people talk about it, it makes me feel so good and comforted. So, and they wrote a little bit more, but that says to me, that's awesome. Also, hey, we emailed a little bit. Hey, I see you. We emailed a little bit, but we get enough emails like that I know people are listening, and we hopefully help and influence people in a positive way, except for that dude who thinks I get too distracted. But
yeah.
So there's something there that I think speaks to what you're speaking to.
I also wanted this to be sort of a conduit for us to talk about the uncomfortable things that are happening to us because we joke about the size of the show a lot, but it's large enough now that we've seen and heard some really uncomfortable things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we talk to each other on this show, and I like to say that real life Mike is 85% the same person as podcast Mike. And I think I stand by that.
Yeah.
But there's that 15%. And a lot of people, when I meet them now, because I do meet people from time to time, are like, oh, you're kind of different. You're different when you're not on the show. Yeah, you're right. And all of that, the punchline there is, listener, you don't know me. You know a lot about me. You know a lot of things that I have said to Kyle, but you don't know me. And to approach me and talk to me about things that I've said on the show that you wouldn't talk to somebody else that you hadn't heard all of this from, that's uncomfortable, or it can be.
Yeah. There's we've built up a lot of emotional debt, I think. We talk to each other in a certain way. And I think that gets people to think oh, I know this, and now can have that level of conversation, when really they forget it's you and I talking to each other. Mm-hmm. But then too, I think it's we have all this debt built up. So when you meet someone in person, there's this big disparity of emotional investment or exposure.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people feel like they need to do help counteract that by getting into their shit. And it's no, we're going to start, or at least for me, I want to start as what would you talk about with a friend that you just met? We don't have to start at the very beginning, because I know at least you're down, you're cool enough to you like me enough to listen to me talk a whole bunch. But yeah, we don't have to get right into who's
my butthole's tiny too.
Yeah, exactly.
Did we make a mistake, do you think? Because I think the people are attracted to the show because of the amount of openness and honesty and authenticity that we bring to it. Is this just the price of what we're doing, putting up with it?
I think I have seen one of the... No, I don't think it's a mistake. I think it is a natural byproduct of talking about serious things, but also talking about sexual things that because we talk with each other about very sexual things and make a lot of jokes. And the 15% of like podcast Kyle is far more sexual or talks about that far more often. And I think that leads to some people thinking that it's okay to like email us super sexualized messages.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand why, because we're talking about sexuality, we're gay, and we're putting out that kind of information. So then people think they're allowed to do that to us as well, but they're not you. Like you can do that, but because you've earned that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think we've made a mistake with what we're doing?
I don't think so. I agree with almost everything that you said.
I should have slipped in something about Selena there.
You're editing it, so you can put me saying that.
And also Selena Gomez is a celebrity, right? You agree with all of it. Cool.
I mean, I do think I worry about the number of people that I meet and then talk to as listeners, and then having it go poorly when I meet them in person.
Oh.
Because it's going to take a while for them to get to the level of familiarity that I present on the show.
Yeah.
And if they think that they're going to go on a date with the Mike that's on the show, I am the same person. Everything that I've said on the show is absolutely true. But we're not there yet, and we're not going to be there yet. And they have me at a huge disadvantage because I know nothing about them. It's just, it's complicated. And I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud now. I got really uncomfortable all of a sudden.
Yeah. I felt, just like talking about doing a show called Celebrity and then talking about ourselves feels really weird to me.
Sure.
But I think about, I think Louis C.K. talked about it, which great reference now.
Yeah.
But like
that aged well.
He talked about like, at first it's great because like the only people that find you are people that are actively seeking you out to listen to you or to take in whatever media you're putting out there, which I think is where like people that listen are mostly people that like us and want to do it. But yeah, I think then like you start to get the negative reviews or the emails that don't always, that come across weird or are too sexual or are too personal, or comments about being gay sucks. Like I think we are starting to get some of those things, and I think that is a natural byproduct of like now more people, including people who don't want to listen to you, hear about you.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to happen. I think that's going to happen more. I've only once emailed a listener back to be like, that was too far. To like basically no. I think for me personally, jokes about sexual things are fine. And those are still a little bit uncomfortable for me, but like we joke enough about it that I think other people can do it. But like to send a message that's like detailing sexual things you want to do to me is like, that is not cool. Like that. I have recently felt gross by some comments that people have made that are far too over sexualizing. And yeah, part of it is like, well, I put out this sexual image and put out this flirty, horny, slutty kind of thing, but that doesn't mean I want.
Yeah.
Interestingly, that doesn't give other people the right to do that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not signing up to be sexualized.
Mm-hmm.
But is that an unrealistic expectation?
I don't know. I mean, a taste of my own medicine here. Maybe we deserve it, right? Like I've made that argument before that like celebrities, and we're not celebrities. I can't say that enough, but that there's a different standard for celebrities. Like that's just the price of being who you are. Like your your private life is less private because of your chosen profession.
Yeah. I think that's the case where like we fit in because it's anyone who like puts things out there, and that could be as simple as like having a Twitter account or having an Instagram account or writing or making a movie or an actor. Like when you put stuff out into the world, you, even if it's your passion and things, something you love and care about, like now all of a sudden people have the right to react to that.
Yeah.
I think that's what this falls into that.
Yeah. Yes, Dan.
One thing that I noticed in this week, things kind of came up that like you said, like, this makes me feel gross. I feel really uncomfortable about this. Some of it, what I was seeing was, instead of like a one-off, like, oh, Kyle's hot, like those kind of comments, even more sexual than that comments, I don't think have bothered you as much as when it's like a repeating pattern from the same person of like increasingly sexualized, and it feels a little relentless and overwhelming, and I think that maybe there's a line there that gets crossed a little bit.
It's either the depth or the length. There's if one comment is like gets super deep and detailed about exactly what it is, that's uncomfortable. If it's like length, if it's like over time, it's yeah. But yes, Dan, I agree.
I will also say, at the risk of like anybody out there thinking to themselves, "Oh my God, am I one of them? Am I the problem?" Like, our fans are awesome.
Yeah, these are I think happened to come up this past week, but very rare, and that's why I wanted to read like a nice one, because we like get so many good emails and comments and feedback. So
yeah.
I'm feeling very weird about all this.
Like what?
I don't know, just weird talking about ourselves for this much, talking to listeners who now might feel bad.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
talking about putting out there what I want definitively. All that feels very weird.
Oh, well, okay. Let's sit in that, maybe.
Sit on what?
Yeah.
Don't sexualize me, everybody.
Yeah. I mean, our listeners are great. The vast, vast, vast majority of them are super chill, a lot of fun, really sweet.
The right level of sexual.
Yeah, exactly. Or at least like try to build up enough capital that then
that you can pay me. Again, joking about myself as a hooker. Like, maybe that's not the way to get people to not
sex worker.
Hooker. I'm going with hooker on that one because I was talking about myself.
I don't know, man. It is weird. You're right.
Putting this under celebrity is weird, but I think what we do acknowledge is we have at least some level of influence over some group of people, enough that I think this is something that changes about when enough people start like paying attention to something you're doing or saying. It's like, before we could say anything, and it's just, you're talking to your friend. Like when you're talking to your friends around a table, you don't have to worry about like, if I ask if Shawn Mendes is gay, how does that reflect on the gay community or whatever? Like, you're just talking to your friends.
Yeah.
And that's how we started. So I think more and more I've been cognizant of the fact that like, if I say something, it might be represented as the gay community thinks this.
Sure.
Like someone said, you mean a lot to the gay community. I was like, how do you don't know that. You don't know that. Who is that? Like, it's very sweet. Thank you for that letter. But like, it's enough to where I now think about it a lot, and in a good way. I think like, what can I say? I need to learn about these issues so I say them right and do them justice. Has knowing people, like enough people listen, affected how you talk or what you talk about?
No, I don't think it has. I've learned a lot of lessons. And changed a lot of my behavior, but that's not because of who is listening, but that's because we've learned a lot about like what the right way to talk about race is, or at least a better way to talk about race or trans issues. And like, this journey has taught me a ton, and I've tried to make adjustments where warranted.
And but that is a byproduct of putting something out into the world that then people can listen and critique.
Yeah.
But just like you would listen to a friend if they sat down, and maybe that's...
I will also say I have less anxiety about a lot of these things than you do, right?
Yeah.
Like the way in which I engage with our listeners, it shows a clear pattern of less anxiety.
Yeah.
And
I think because I'm just in life and on this podcast,
can confirm.
But I'm just always very cognizant of like how other people are perceiving me. So that like doing this podcast in the first place was like so weird to me because like I'm so worried about every single thing someone thinks about me. So to put something out in front of a lot of people that then a lot of people could have opinions about me, and I can't adjust to fix it for every single person. Like that's a weird place, but one that I had to get to. Especially if I want to keep doing creative things.
Yep.
One thing I'll mention, I'll ask you what, are there any celebrities that stand out to you as being really meaningful to you, had a big impact on you, that you will hold close to your heart? Have celebrities done a good thing for you? Are they a net positive or negative?
I don't know. Like, celebrity is weird. Like, I don't get it. Like, I really enjoy people who are skilled, super duper skilled, and that sails through. Like, I love watching Meryl Streep do what she does in like literally every single role. And there are other examples, but like, had such a deep personal impact that I would consider that to be like formative to me or something. I don't know.
Is this why like the stereotype, this gays that are all into the celebrity gossip and everything, and we're not? So I wonder if that's, how is our relationship different than the gays that are like super into it, you know?
Yeah.
And why? Like, that is just something I don't totally understand.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine for some people it's just knowing things that their friends are into, and so they can all feed off of each other. And
it's like a community bonding.
Because I know when I sit down with my super dork friends and we talk about Star Trek, it's intense and fun. So that just means I want to be more knowledgeable about Star Trek stuff, so that when I sit down with them, that fun is max fun.
Yeah.
So if like from that perspective, I could see knowing things about celebrities being fun.
Yeah. There's something like gays love gossip. Why do gays love gossip?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, did it start because like you couldn't be out, so like to even know if someone was gay, that had to be based on gossip. That had to be through the rumor mill. I wonder if that's like where it started.
Yeah.
That's a really amazing segue to my Patreon segment, which we'll be talking about whether it's okay to gossip about whether someone's gay or not, and whether that's changed over time.
Ooh. Feel like that. Well, we will confirm or deny later potentially, but that could be a reason celebrity gossip is important to gays.
Why aren't you? Because don't take this the wrong way. You seem like the type that would be. Yeah.
No. Was only offensive because you said no offense. But cool. And at one point I was, but also I think that was because I thought I was supposed to. I thought I was supposed to know everything that was going on. So I would go to Perez Hilton, or I'd like, people would be like, "Oh, these people are dating. Do you know that?" Like, people would be like, "Oh, you're gay, so I'll come to you with this information." So I felt like I needed to know it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, weirdly, similar to football, I was like, oh, I don't need to care about this. And so I stopped. So yeah, I love Britney's pop music, Selena Gomez's pop music, who I'm just going to call Selena now. She's one. Selena's pop music.
The dead Selena doesn't count anymore.
You already said it. She's dead.
I love it.
But I like their music, and specifically their music. I care less about what they do or who they date or everything. I just don't have it's just a lot of information that you have to do a lot of work to find and keep and stay up to date on, and I don't know. Yeah, I just don't care.
Yeah. All right. Did we do it?
Yeah.
Everything about celebrities has been covered
I think so.
forever and all time.
Yeah, and I won the argument, so cool.
Great. Should we take a break?
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break.
All right.
This is the part where Mike and Kyle take a break.
You good? Okay. Are we back?
We're back.
We're back.
we're going to do our Gayest and Straightest.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest, but first, our website is gayishpodcast.com.
All of our social media is at Gayish Podcast or /Gayish Podcast. We're on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Stan's dying, and we're trying to ignore him in the process, which everyone's fine with. Yeah, check us out on social media.
Our hotline, you can send us text messages or leave us voicemails, is 5855-GAYISH. That's 585-542-9474. Standard rates apply.
Our email is gayishpodcast@gmail.com.
Our physical mailing address, which I haven't been in almost 2 weeks, is P.O. Box 19882, Seattle, Washington, 98109.
A couple things we want to mention. You say stuff. You have stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, so Kyle put together a Spotify list called The Sounds of Gayish Podcast. And it's every song we've talked about or hummed or like whatever.
I've played clips of some, and yeah.
There's a link to it in our Facebook group or on our website, or if you just search Spotify for Sounds of Gayish, it comes up. But if we are missing any, please let us know what song and what episode we made the reference, and we will get it added.
Yeah. The only episode I actually re-listened to was the Britney episode, because I was like, there's gonna be a lot of songs that I talked about there.
Yeah.
It is currently 4 hours and 49 minutes of music, but I think we have more potential there.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot more songs that we mentioned and forgot completely about.
And just a couple of days after this airs, there's a live show this weekend in just a couple days. Saturday, August 29th at 6 p.m. Pacific on our Facebook live stream page group. Niner.
Cool. Well, marketing. Well done. Yeah, those have always those have turned into something really fun.
Yeah.
And I like both doing them, but then also like hang out with people after. So
yeah.
Well, just a couple things that I want to mention. We've done a lot of spots on guest spots on other people's podcasts.
Boy, howdy.
We were, as you know,
so popular.
I know. We're celebrities. We had Relationship on ours. We were on their episode, which came out around the same time that ours did. Also, this past Monday, we were on two podcasts. One is The Bad Queers, who we had theirs on previously, and a lot of people started listening to theirs and really liked theirs. So if you want an entry point, Bad Queers, the one we're on, is a good one. But
They're so great.
We were also on, speaking of so great, we were also on Minority with TEA, who their episode also came out on Monday. They were awesome. We're trying to figure out like how we can keep doing stuff with them, because they're really cool. We really liked hanging out with them. And also, Mike, I want to thank you for sorry. For giving me something to shump. I said super casually and waited to see if you had a reaction to.
Wait. Hey, Kyle.
Hey, Mike.
Is that the Polari word of the week?
What if no? What if I just said a thing?
What if you just had a stroke while you were talking?
Yeah, no. My mouth just... Yeah, okay.
What did you say? What was the word?
It is...
Take another run at it. Take it here.
No, I did it right. Oh.
We're going to... Here's another take.
Okay, here's another take.
Wait.
Great. Wow, hold on. Let me take a shump of my drink.
A shump?
That was Dan giving a uncomfortable blowjob, not me. I was not that noise. Shump.
Shump.
Maybe from Yiddish, but it means to drink. SCHUMPH. Shump.
Shump.
Yeah. Again, that's
Shump.
Dan's uncomfortable blowjob.
For my love. Shump it. Okay.
What's that?
I just wanted that to go on the Spotify list. Jump.
I don't know.
Jump for my love.
Oh, okay. Who was that by?
If you want some kisses in the night,
The Pointer Sisters.
Jump for my love. No? Okay, great.
Oh yeah. Well, also,
Shump is the Polari word of the week.
yeah, I was trying to think of a Britney song that now I would have to add.
It's very useful for water sports.
Gonna shump this later. Okay. Do you want to do Gayest and Straightest?
Let's do our Gayest and Straightest.
We really need to get out of this episode somehow.
Yeah.
We're trapped inside. Okay,
It's your turn. This is going to be a 4-hour episode if we're not careful.
Dan is stuck in his plastic box of his own creating. He doesn't have COVID, but he's very lonely. Okay. Gayest is, I've been watching Pose. I've watched all 2 seasons of Pose. I got so excited when I realized the second season had 4 more episodes. You know when you're like, oh, this is the last one, and then it's like 4 more episodes. Now I can stay up 4 hours later. It is so good, confirmed to be as good as promised. It's a little bit cheesy, as Ryan Murphy shows are, but also super touching, and I cried. Like literally everyone now, I'm like, okay, I'm crying again. Like it's they had a scene that was like, one of the times when I started crying, it was because they had a scene of 2 gay black characters, one of them being Billy Porten, both with HIV, and they were talking about calling someone else girl. So 2 gay black HIV positive characters discussing the nuance of gayness, and the word she is like a level of specificity we don't get, like in those like in those kinds of characters. We don't get them. Like they're usually talking about their HIV status or their race or their whatever, but it was not, I mean, they were in it like the ward for AIDS, but like that kind of discussion between those characters was really cool to see on screen.
I support you watching this show just because it means normal human emotions for you.
That I cry?
Yeah. Like,
it's been real good at helping me unlock that.
Yeah.
I actually did have this moment where I was like, oh, I feel like crying, but I don't want to. And then I was like, you know what? Just embrace it. And then 2 hours later, I came out of the world a very dry individual. My straightest is, I'm sure I've said this in the past. Dan, are you okay? Do you need something? Do you need a doggy biscuit? Or?
No, I'm riveted by your performance. You're like the Meryl Streep of podcasting.
I'm going to take that all as sincere, and I thank you. My straightest is, I'm sure I've done this in the past and used this before, but I saw this like older male and female, they're presumably a couple, and I like when I walked past, I gave a head nod to the dude, and like there's something about like when like straight dudes,
was it a head nod like down, like it was chin up, wasn't it? It
was more like a, not a chin up, because he was older, so like chin up would be like what's up for like no, it was not a good day to you, sire. No, it was just like a nod, like a nod down that was like, I see you're a man, you're taking care of your woman, cool. You don't have a woman with you, but I'm sure you're handling your domain. Like that's what it feels like. It feels like I see you too. Continue to be a man.
This gesture with my head acknowledges your penis.
Yeah. That's what it is, right? I think that's what like I was thinking about this head nod, and it's like men looking around to make sure other men got it. Like I don't know. I think that's where that came from, and it's sexist, and I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Okay, Mike, your turn.
So the straightest thing about me this week. Oh man, I'm glad we had some wine over the break so that I can share this.
Correction, so much wine.
So I may or may not have had a slight emergency and ended up peeing into a plastic container in the back of my Jeep. That's straight, right?
Oh no, you say more. Like
so I was trying to
explain yourself.
Oh man. Okay. I'm real sorry.
Just go ahead and shump. Mike, shump some more wine.
Yeah, great. Here we go.
Dan is just having a. Are you?
I'm so sweaty right now.
Okay. I'm embarrassed now because he's going to hear this, but that's fine. I hung out with a listener earlier in the week, and we had a 2-stop evening, and because of the way that things worked out, we got drinks to go and ended up like walking around and drinking them. And by the time I got back to the Jeep, had to pee real bad. And it's COVID. You can't pee anywhere. And like on the way to the second stop, at which I didn't know there was even going to be a restroom, but it was like, I am desperate. I'm going to pee. I need to find somewhere to pee. And it was either like pull over in this random ass neighborhood and pee on a bush or something, or I know that there's an empty gallon-sized jug in the back of the Jeep because I just went camping and emptied one that was filled with water when I bought it. I know that I have this receptacle. I'm going to just pee in it in the back of the Jeep. So I fucking pulled over and peed in this thing in the back of my Jeep. And then I had a gallon of urine in the back of my Jeep until I got home. That's it.
Dan's wondering what you did with that gallon of urine and if it's available for him to throw away. You call your mouth the trash still, right?
Shump. Okay.
Shump.
The gayest thing about me this week is I was on our Discord. People jump into the voice chat randomly, and you can never really predict when it's going to happen. But just like sometimes they get pretty big and elaborate. Anyway, in a recent one, we were talking about different kinds of like what's the word?
Selena Gomez,
like play like animal play, like being a pup or being like we were talking about all of the different, and then like the accessories for doing that, and somebody said, well, don't some people have butt plugs with horsetails attached? And I got to say, yes, I have one. It's rainbow like a unicorn. I'll be right back. And I went and got it. And it was because Dan gave me a butt plug that has a unicorn tail attached to it.
Oh,
correction, fucking Dan.
Oh, that's right. Fucking Dan gave me a butt plug with a unicorn tail attached to it. And I got to share it. And it was lovely.
That's beautiful. That's such a beautiful butt moment.
I know, right? Yeah, accessorizing. Okay, listeners, Gayest, Straightest?
Yeah.
This one comes from Kyle Irving, who I realize now I should not have chosen based on the way that you were mad about the Patreon person at the very beginning of the episode named Kyle.
Yeah. Joseph, tell me what Joseph has to say.
Okay, Joseph Irving on our Facebook group. He said, my Gayest, I will be going to the RuPaul's Drive-In Drag Show in Maryland this weekend. My Straightest, telling my parents I'm grabbing a drink after work instead of saying I'm going to a drag show.
Like, yep, I get that. Yeah. Do I want to have this conversation or can I just, yep.
Going for drinks.
Yeah, going for drinks.
Yep. So that's it.
That's it.
A thank you to Selena Gomez.
I was going to thank the general concept of Selena Gomez. Thank you to all those A-list celebrities, whether it's one person like Mike has in his mind or 10 million people like Kyle has in his mind.
Yep. And thank you to Kathy Griffin. You know, somebody needs to cut that motherfucker's head off.
We went from Kathy, what have you done, to like, well, she had a point.
This has been Gayish. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz. Until next week, be butch, be fabulous, be you. Shump away.
See you next week. We're in stereo even.
Yeah.
Great.